Hello. I never do this anymore. This is wild. Basically, I'm in self-isolation, and it's Christmas Eve. I'm free tomorrow, which means I'll be able to drive back to my parents' house for Christmas. But it also means that I have 10 hours to kill while I'm still in isolation. So I'm making this. I've got orange juice as well as tea because my flatmate bought me loads before she left to help me get over my COVID. Now I've got loads of orange juice to drink. I am going to be ranking every movie that I watched this year that I hadn't seen before. That's going to be anything that was released this year, but also anything that I watched and then ranked on IMDb for the first time. And then I've put them all in order. So this is a list of 150 movies in order from bad to good. What you will see in this video is that my rating system for movies is a complete mess. Basically, how I do it is after I watch a movie, I just go on IMDb and I just do it purely based on vibes. There's no system to this at all, which means that if you see something that you like ranked below something you don't like, it doesn't mean anything, because this is entirely nonsense. Basically, the way I've done this is exported my ratings off of IMDb, and then within each rating out of 10, I've just put them in an order. And then this is everything that I've watched from the 1st of January this year up to the 24th of December this year. Don't read too much into it. It's all stupid. Let's go. I'm going to zip through it as quickly as possible because I've got 150 movies to get through. But I'll stop if there's anything interesting I want to say about any of them. Like if any of them came out this year, I might go into a bit of a deeper dive on them. So, starting from 150, it's The Worst Witch, which was a movie that I watched because I saw a clip of Tim Curry in it, singing a song. The song is great, the rest of the movie is terrible. Next up, it's Hellraiser Inferno, and I'm going to stop right here because I'm going to tell you my ranking of all the Hellraiser movies because I watched them all for the first time this year. Inferno is at the bottom because it's not a Hellraiser movie, they just stuck the name on it. Next up is Revelations, which was the one that was made on no budget in 2 weeks. Then Hellraiser Deader, which is boring. Hellraiser Bloodline, which is a mess. Hellworld, which is quite fun until the twist ending. Hellraiser Hellseeker, Judgement, which was the newest one, which was actually quite interesting. Then Hellraiser 2, Hellraiser 3, and Hellraiser 1. If you're interested in watching any of the Hellraiser movies, watch the first 3 and then stop. So anyway, at 149, Hellraiser Inferno, then Revelations, then Deader. Next up is Curse of the Puppet Master. I'm not going to do my ranking of Puppet Masters because I've not got through them all yet. Then Hellraiser Bloodline, then Hellworld. Next up, it's Final Destination 2. I'll pause to give you my Final Destination ranking because I've watched them all for the first time this year. It's 2, 4, 5, 1, 3. I think 3 is the best one. I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead a lot. Next up, it's Llamageddon, Spice World. Spice World is one of 2 early 2000s banned movies that appears on this list. It's lower than the other one. The other one is a competent movie. Spice World is fun but terrible. Hellraiser Hellseeker, Hellraiser Judgement, Puppet Master 5, The Final Destination, which is the 4th one that they called The Final Destination before they knew they were going to make a 5th one. Next on the list is Halloween Kills, which is the first 2021 movie on the list. I hated it. Like I said, I'm mostly going off vibes for this list, and I was just really disappointed with Halloween Kills. I really liked the 2018 Halloween, and that's going to appear way higher on the list. But the problem with it was, like, nothing happened. Like, they planned a trilogy. You just know they had nothing planned for the middle movie, and that's why Halloween Kills, nothing happens, and it just meanders along. Jumping back in at number 135, Elvira's Haunted Hills. Way worse than the first movie. Next up, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Hellbound, which is Hellraiser 2. At 132 on the list is Space Jam: A New Legacy. I didn't expect it to be good after seeing the trailers, and it wasn't. Then Earwig and the Witch, which was also a big disappointment. The new Studio Ghibli film. Just nothing happens for the whole film. And you could say that about a lot of Ghibli films, but like at least they're charming. This one is just like got nothing going on. The animation's not even good. Like, oh, it's a mess. And then next is the new Cinderella, which is it's funny that I've got these 3 2021 movies in a row. There are some, like, redeeming factors about it, but, like, the original songs aren't very good. It's telling that I can't really remember anything about it, and it's been, like, a month or two since I watched it. Back in at 129, it's The Mutilator. Then Crank High Voltage, which I really didn't like. I know I quite liked the first one when I was younger, but on rewatch and with watching the second one, I just really didn't like either of them. Next up is Night Warning, also known as Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. And then next is Mortal Kombat, the 2021 film. It's bad. I don't really have much else to say about that. It's been a while since I've seen it. It's not good. Next up, it's the second of the banned movies on the list. It's S Club Seeing Double. Congratulations to the 25 movies that appear on this list below S Club Seeing Double. Above that, at 124, it's Clash of the Titans, not the new one, but the old one. I will say that this one is better than the new one, but they're both not good. Above that is Puppet Master 4, and then it's Willy's Wonderland, another 2021 film, and another big disappointment. Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff starring Nick Cage sounds like great fun. It's not. He doesn't say anything for the whole film. There's no peril. There's a group of teenagers who go in, and you're like, oh, it's going to be like a slasher movie, and they're going to get killed one by one. No, they all get killed in like 2 minutes. It's a nightmare. It's not good. And then next up, it's The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. I quite enjoyed the first one of these. Ryan Reynolds, Sam Jackson, they're like likable characters. It really feels like a sequel that they pushed out just because the first one made money. They didn't like have anything to say with it. And like, I know the first film is just like a star vehicle for those two, but yeah, it's just not very good. Above that is Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I really didn't like. I know some people quite liked it for like the nostalgia and everything. I like the first Ghostbusters movie, but I don't know. It feels weird that it's become like a franchise now. They made one good movie and they just keep making them. I think the new one relies too heavily on nostalgia. And like, I think some of the new stuff was quite interesting, but it just gets pushed to the side at the end. So it's just a bit of a shame how it turned out. 119 is Ghoulies. And then above that, it's Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. Before this year, I had seen the first Twilight, but none of the other ones. I like the Twilight movies a fair bit. Pay no attention to the fact that this one is at 118 on the list. I like movies. Even the ones that are down here on the list. Like, there are still some that are like, oh yeah, if someone asked me, should I watch that? I'd be like, yeah, you should watch that. That is something I've worked out while I was trying to put this list together and like moving stuff about, is that I have no consistency whether I'm rating on how good I think the movie is or how much I like it. Because there's a lot of 3 out of 10 movies that I like more than like a 7 out of 10. Like and good are different things. So in some places on this list, the movies that are next to each other, sometimes they've gone like the way of like, oh, well, this movie is clearly better than this other movie. But in other places, I've gone, this movie is worse than this movie, but I like it more, so I'm putting it above. But speaking of that, the next movie on this is Annabelle, which I like a lot less than Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1. Right, the Conjuring tier list, that I'm just going to sneak in here. Annabelle, The Curse of La Llorona, Annabelle Creation, Annabelle Comes Home, The Nun, Conjuring 3, Conjuring 2, Conjuring 1. I'm not sure if I believe that, but it's there or thereabouts. The Nun is so much fun. I'm getting so distracted doing this. Jumping back in at 116, Aquaman, followed by Twilight New Moon, and then Johnny Mnemonic, starring Keanu Reeves. Above that, Puppet Master, the first one, and then Child's Play 3. My flatmate and I went through and watched the first 4 Child's Play movies because we wanted to dress as Chucky and Bride of Chucky for Halloween. Above Child's Play 3, it's The Nun, which is contradicting the tier list that I literally just did. I don't think The Nun is good, but it's really fun. I love to talk about The Nun. Above that is Man Beast, which is like a 40s horror movie. Then Shoot Fighter, The Torture Chamber of Dr. Sadism, which I watched purely based on the fact that Christopher Lee was in it. It was fine. Then above that is Christmas Cookies, a Hallmark movie. This list is a mess. I need to start going quicker. 106 is We Can Be Heroes, which I think might have come out this year. It's the new Robert Rodriguez film. It's fine. It's kind of half a follow-up to Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Then Mulan from last year. It's not very good. The Curse of La Llorona, which I've already mentioned. Death Becomes Her. Anchorman. I know people like this. I don't care for Will Ferrell, but I did laugh like 2 times during this film. Austin Powers Goldmember. Followed by Thunderball. Thunderball, the actual James Bond movie, is at 100 in this list. Last year, in preparation for No Time to Die, I bought a big box set of all the James Bond movies, and I've watched maybe 4 or 5 of them, because I've not liked many of them that much, apart from maybe Goldfinger. But Thunderball is the worst of them, it's so boring. Then Twilight Eclipse, then Black Roses, which is like a heavy metal horror movie, Chopping Mall, then Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, Final Destination 5. Sitting where it belongs, just above Final Destination 5, is another 2021 movie. It's Cruella. Cruella had a lot of jokes made about it when it first came out because of the scene where a dog pushes her mum off a cliff. The movie is fine. It's fairly enjoyable. I was laughing a fair bit at the movie rather than with it, but I don't think that makes it bad. I think it was fine. Above Cruella at 93 is You Only Live Twice, another James Bond movie. Then The Spy Who Shagged Me. I watched the 3 Austin Powers movies this year. I really liked the first one and didn't care for the other 2. At 91, it's Hack-O-Lantern, then Bride of Chucky, then Hellraiser 3, then Annette, which is a 2021 movie. I know a lot of people liked Annette. I kind of went into the cinema not knowing anything about it. I just heard good reviews. First song in the film got me really excited, but I really just couldn't get into it. It's very slow. I don't really like the songs that much. It's mainly just weird. I know some people like it a lot, so like I'm not trying to diss the movie or anything. I just couldn't get into it. And that's why it sat on my list just above Hellraiser 3. And below, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas at 87, which I'd not seen before, but I did quite like it. Then another 2021 movie, Old. Sorry, I just realised that I watched The Happening the other day and I didn't get it on this list in time. The Happening is below Old somewhere. I like Old a fair bit. I think the concept is great. M. Night Shyamalan just has a weird way with dialogue to make everyone seem like a fake person. I'm sorry for putting so low on the list. The thing is, I don't think it's a good movie. I just like it a lot. At 85, Final Destination, and then Final Destination 3. After that is Child's Play 2, Halloween 2, Elvira Mistress of the Dark, which is the first Elvira movie, and it's quite funny, and I like it quite a bit. At 80, Last Night in Soho. This is a bit surprising, because I do think the movie is actually quite good. I don't know how it's ended up so low. I think it's mainly just disappointment, and also I feel like the movie was lacking some kind of like stronger theming. I'm not usually a person who gets put off by plot holes, but I think like there was a fair bit of this movie where I was like, that doesn't make any sense, or like it within the logic of the film, I don't really understand what's happening. I think it deserves a rewatch, and I definitely will be when I get the chance. I'll probably like it more the second time round. Above Last Night in Soho is The Headhunter. Slacks, which is a movie about Killer Jean. Above that is Basket Case, The Old Dark House, then Black Widow. I quite liked the start of it, but I thought the end was a mess. Black Widow is halfway through the list. I've been talking forever. Above Black Widow is Escape Room 2, Tournament of Champions. I saw this in a double bill with Old. I liked Old more. I think Escape Room 2 is a more conventionally good movie. Above that is A Bucket of Blood, then The Hunt, Gattaca, Wishmaster. I'm all over the place with these films. Annabelle Comes Home, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. That's The Conjuring 3. That came out this year. It's definitely the worst of the 3. It's also the least scary. You mainly just see them as like a cute romance movie between the 2 Warrens. At 67, Annabelle Creation. That's weird that I've got 3 Conjurings in a row. At 66 is Basket Case 3. Then Get Over It, the Shakespeare adaptation. Then Hellraiser. And then at 63, it's a movie that's going to make people mad. I put it here. It's Dune. The reason that Dune is so low on the list, I think, is just when I came out of the cinema, I was mostly a bit disappointed. Dune didn't hit me the way that it seems to have hit other people. I think there's a lot of spectacle to it. I think it's a very visually impressive movie. I think the score's really good. The main thing that I struggled with was just getting an emotional connection to any of the characters. And maybe that's just on me, and I'm waiting to see Dune Part 2. Because, like, I didn't dislike the film. It's, like, a very well-made sci-fi movie, and I like Denis Villeneuve a lot. I was just... I struggled a bit with it. At 62, Those Who Wish Me Dead, which came out this year. It's a fairly standard action movie, but it's got Angelina Jolie in, who I like a lot. I think it's good fun. There's not much to it, but it's like a nice, like, action movie. Ghost Stories. At 60, Ringu, which is like the original Japanese Ring. At 59, Free Guy. I don't know how this is so high on the list. Basically, I gave it a 7 out of 10 when it came out of the cinema, and it's just been arranged with the other 7s. It's good. There's nothing spectacular about it. It's a fairly standard, like, big budget movie. Like, you know how all movies at the moment are like, oh, it's an action movie and it's a comedy and like all this. It's one of them. Above that is Fantastic Fungi, which is a documentary about mushrooms. Oh my god. Then Eternals, which I seem to like a lot more than other people do. I felt like for a movie that was 2.5 hours long, it was actually like pretty good. And I think it covers a lot of interesting questions. I get why some people didn't like it that much. Like, there's a lot of characters, there's a lot going on. But I got into it quite a bit. Above Eternals is Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, which I appreciate that they lent into the silliness more in this one. To be fair, I don't think I like it as much as the first one, even though I think this one is a better film. The fact that it's doing a lot of what it's doing accidentally is quite charming to me, which is a very weird reason to like a movie. But there we go. At 55, it's Carefree, which is a Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire movie. Then Freaky, which is another in the Blumhouse line of take a concept from other movies and make it horror. I like Freaky a fair bit. I think it does a good job with what it's got. Above that, Elf, which I saw for the first time this year, and I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. Then Shin Godzilla, Uncle Boom Me Who Can Recall His Past Lives, Overlord, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I think it's pretty good. A lot of people liked it. I think the start's really good, the end is a Marvel mess, but it holds it together better than some other ones do. Then A Quiet Place Part 2 was nowhere near as good as the first one. I think the first one is like an absolute masterpiece. Feels like they made a sequel when they had nothing to go off for the sequel. But it's still a decent horror movie. Number 47, Child's Play, and then 46, My Octopus Teacher, and 45, Malignant. Malignant is really high up on the list because it's insane. It's basically a high-budget version of Basket Case, which I've mentioned lower down in the list, and I've not talked about it because I don't want to spoil anything. Malignant feels like a Conjuring movie for the first, like, 2/3, and then the last third is absolutely mental. It's incredible. If you like horror movies, you should go see it. At 44, Witchfinder General. At 43, Zack Snyder's Justice League, which I've got a whole video on, and I'm going to put the link wherever the links go. 42, Breakfast on Pluto. 41, Basket Case 2. 40, The Suicide Squad. I was hoping to like it more, but I still liked it a lot. I found myself thinking about it for a few days after. It's now been a while since I've seen it, so I am due a rewatch because I do want to see it again. At 39, Addams Family Values. At 38 is Baron Prisil, which is a Czech movie, and I can't find the English title for it. So sorry. At 37 is House of Gucci. I liked House of Gucci a fair bit. I think Lady Gaga and Adam Driver were really good in it. I think it's a bit long, I think it's a bit unfocused, and I think Jared Leto is a bit annoying. At 36, it's Shrek the Musical. I am all over the place. Blackfish. 34, Us. 33, Spencer. I think Spencer's really good. I think Kristen Stewart definitely deserves all the awards nominations she's been getting for it. In places, it kind of hits you over the head with the themes and the metaphors, but I think some bits are really well done, especially like the first dinner scene with the pearls. It's incredible. Yeah, obviously Kristen Stewart's amazing in it. I liked it a fair bit. At 32, The Fall. 31, The Green Knight. It's weird that these three have all come together. Spencer, The Fall, The Green Knight. They're all very kind of metaphorical movies. I like The Green Knight a fair bit. I think the opening is a lot stronger than the ending. But no, I like it a lot. It's just a fun movie to kind of lose yourself in. And even if you're not fully following what's going on or like the themes of it all, it's just amazing to look at. At 30, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. 29, No Time to Die. I liked this movie a lot. And I'm quite surprised at where it's fallen on the list, because I didn't think it would be up this high. But no, it's just a really fun action movie. They have been doing the James Bond thing, where they make a good one and then they make a bad one. So we were due a good movie. No Time to Die is, like, fallen right in place. I think it's not as good as Skyfall, but it's better than the rest of the other Daniel Craig ones. It's really good. 28, Beauty and the Beast, but like the French one. 27, The Peanut Butter Falcon. 26, The Fireman's Ball, the Czech movie from like the 60s. 25, Goldfinger, the other James Bond one. 24, In the Heights. I love a musical, and I think In the Heights was a lot of fun. It's a little bit long, but I like all the songs a lot. I had the soundtrack on repeat like after I finished watching it for a few weeks, so like songs are good. It's nice. You can definitely see a lot of the inspiration that Lin-Manuel Miranda got from that for Hamilton as well. Like, you can see little bits of the songs here and there. It's very interesting. At 23, Rashomon. The Kurosawa movie. Oh my god, I'm mental. You're gonna hate me when you see the movies I put above them. 22, The Addams Family. Yes, I've put The Addams Family above the classic Kurosawa movie, Rashomon. I'm gonna breeze past that. The Addams Family puts me in such a good mood. With Rashomon, I'm gonna say that I think with the movies it's inspired, they've now surpassed the original movie. I think at the time, it was probably very impressive to have the same story told from multiple points of view. I think now we kind of expect that kind of stuff, so it won't have had the impact that it did at the time. I still think it's really good. I'm sorry that I put the Addams Family above it. At 21, The Sound of Metal, which I really liked. At 20, Dawn of the Dead, then Moulin Rouge, The Big Short, Sanjuro, which is another Kurosawa movie. But at the start of the year, I got a subscription to BFI Player, I think it was, and I watched a few Kurosawa movies. 16, The French Dispatch, which is a movie from this year. I really liked it. Very Wes Anderson, but I think it's nice that he just had the chance to do whatever he wants to do and just make a movie that's very him. I really like The French Dispatch. 15, it's Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. When I said that I was rating this list purely on vibes, this is what I mean. Barb and Star is an insane film. I think I liked it so much just because it's very weird. I think it's the movie that I laughed at the most this year, at least out of the ones that were released this year. Yeah, I'm just happy that they're still making films that are this weird. The scene where Jamie Dornan sings to a load of seagulls is perfection. Above that, number 14, it's Halloween, the 2018 one. 13, In the Loop, then Reanimator, then Da 5 Bloods. The General, the Buster Keaton movie, is at number 10. 9, Orlando, the Tilda Swinton film. And Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Candyman, which is from this year. I know a lot of people were like, oh, why did they bring politics into Candyman? The original was just about a guy who kills people. I think it's really interesting to recontextualize these older horror films, make them again for a new audience with like a stronger message that was there in the original, but to kind of pull that out and like put it front and center and make a big thing of it. So I think this is great. It's one of my favourite movies that came out this year. I loved Candyman. I thought it was amazing. 6, The Mitchells vs. the Machines. I'm not sure if this came out this year, but it made me cry like a little baby. I loved it. Number 5, Terminator 2, Judgment Day. Then Yojimbo, which is another Kurosawa movie. Then Midsommar. I didn't see it before this year, but I absolutely adored Midsommar. I think it's incredible. Number 2, Kiki's Delivery Service. And then number 1, my favourite movie that I hadn't seen before this year, is It's a Wonderful Life, and I watched it this week in the run-up to Christmas, and I've been feeling bad because I've been in the flat on my own and I've had COVID, and honestly, it is a wonderful life. It made me feel so good. I loved it. Right, so now that I've been through the whole list, I hope you can see that it's absolutely meaningless and it's absolutely insane, and I'm all over the place and I shouldn't talk about movies ever again. If you want to send me hate mail, don't. Feel free to, like, leave comments, like, discussing anything weird. Films are really subjective. If you get something out of a film and someone else doesn't, like, that's fine. It's how the medium works. I don't know. Let me know your favourite movies of the year in the comments below or whatever. Mine were Candyman and The Mitchells vs. the Machines. I thought they were amazing. And I hope you have a nice Christmas if you celebrate. At least have some nice time off from work. And yeah. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.